Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Here.
William Kim,
Here.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Now, next, we just talk about later in school board.
Yeah, so again, for anyone that came late, I just once again want to applaud any and all school board members, not just here in Palisades Park, but the month of January throughout the state of New Jersey. It is National School Board Recognition Month. So thank you all for the efforts, thank you for your volunteerism, and thank you for what you do for all the faculty, staff, and students of Palisades Park. I applaud you.
Okay. Next, we just discussed all, committees in the work section. So now, we are going to.
You can
talk
distribute
about-
those.
So next item, so now report of the Board of President. So thank you again for choosing me to serve as a president. I realize that, this is an important position and responsibility. I promise to do my best, and I will communicate with the Superintendent, Dr. Soriello, to discuss the needs of, the schools, the students, and the teachers to improve the overall quality of education. As a president, my top priority will be to ensure that every student in our district receives a high quality education that prepares that prepares them for success in the 21st century. This means investing in innovative teaching methods, providing our teachers with the support and resources they need, and fostering a culture of excellence in our schools. Okay? I understand that the role of a president is not, only to lead, but also to listen, and I will make it, priority to engage with the stakeholders across our community, including parents, teachers, and students. Together, we'll work to make our district a leader in education, and I am excited to begin this journey with all of you. Thank you. Now, committee,
Before we go there, I know you don't want to hear me anymore, but I was letter H.
Okay, so, H.
H for hurry up. 3 or 4 items from me. Thank you for being here. Number one, there is a motion I am going to seek from the board as per our policy. A neighboring superintendent of schools is conducting a dissertation survey. It will remain anonymous. Clearly, that is going to be conducted on the field of professional development with some of our teachers in the district. I think opportunities like this and paying it forward, helping others further their careers, with the end result of receiving that information from our staff is very beneficial. So I'm going to ask the board in new business for a motion and a second and approval on that. Second, I am very happy to announce that our Seal of Biliteracy. So the Seal of Biliteracy is a program that our high school students can, on their transcripts, receive an actual seal that they are successful in defending a native language of whatever world language they're choosing is. This year, I believe, we have had 24 out of 37 students, 65%, receive a passing score. So their transcripts upon graduation will have a seal of biliteracy when they enter the college or university. We had 18 students in the area of Korean. We had 6 in the area of Spanish. So 24 out of 37 students received a passing score on that STAMP assessment, and I wanted to commend them publicly and announce that to the board and the public. And finally, school exams started at our junior senior high school today. I hope our teachers are grading, although only one of them is here, so she finished already. And our students are resting and studying, but there has been much discussion with obviously the change in the public sector, private sector of schools on over-testing children. There is a survey that I'm actually very anxiously awaiting results for. You know, over-testing is not necessarily the answer. It causes anxiety in the world we're living with many social emotional concerns. So I may have a further discussion with all board members in the near future about looking more closely at our assessments. Obviously, we are bound by state tests. We have no choice. We must administer those. But internal assessments like midterm and final exams is something that we should probably have a bigger conversation on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I just, changed it.
Is there a motion?
Yeah.
No, new business. We'll do it in new, please. Thank you, Alex.
Okay, now, committee appointments, okay?
Open them up.
Yeah, can you? There are 8 committees, okay, as we just talked about in our work sessions. The committee appointments were decided in consultation with Dr. Wheeler. So if you have any questions, please contact us, okay? And can you just check?
Ms. Smith, and to go back to what we discussed in the work session with Ms. Chung, I think it's in our best interest to have a motion for the creation and or dissolving of any old committees. I think that is part of our policy, 9130. And if there's any other committees that are being considered, they can always be added.
Okay.
So I can't make that recommendation, but that's something that the board has to take upon themselves.
Yeah, I have well, there's already eliminated, but.
But you
as
would
far
have to
as-
approve the elimination, so you would go forth with the new committees.
Oh, we were just approving
Right.
this.
You would have to approve the new and dissolve the old. That's how I read the policy, 9130.
So we do the new one first, and then the establishment.
That's what I would do, yes.
So I make a
This
motion.
is where an attorney would be helpful.
So I make a
Well,
motion to
she's not
approve.
here.
I make a motion to approve the committees that were
Okay,
just distributed.
I have a question, okay? If I feel this is, one of these community assignment is not my specialty, okay? Can I be executed? I ask, evacuated?
I think you can talk to any board members because they're your recommendations as board president. So you and Mr. Shin should discuss that privately. And then next month, you can always update the committees.
So, Mr. Shin, can you talk with me about this, because, this.
You mean here or
Oh,
later?
personal. Yeah.
Okay.
But we will need a motion and a second
Yeah,
and a roll
because
call
this-
for the new
This
committees.
community assignment, I think it's not my specialty I would be interested in.
So why don't you just discuss here?
Ms. Garcia made a motion.
Ms. Garcia made a motion to accept the new committees. You need a second. Second.
Any discussion?
But, that means you approve like all of this,
So the committees are on the left.
right?
The chairperson or co-chairs are that decided by the board president as per the policy. If you would like to add other committees,
Now I want to remove, like.
something that is here,
Yeah.
okay, which, that's a discussion after the
I will
roll.
make a motion to remove the personnel because it's been an issue of too many cases of conflict of interest of board members. Which you remember the incident last year
Yes,
too,
ma'am.
right? So I researched other borders or other school districts and many of them actually don't have personnel. Right, can apply to Ramos and wherever. Right? and we all, yeah.
There have been
Well,
ethics decisions in the past few years that have, because again, ultimately, personnel is a recommendation of the superintendent. So they, some districts do away with a personnel committee, because there could be interference. In that case, clearly, we would do exactly what we did tonight in work session. All board members technically would be hearing all personnel appointments, at that time, so there's no interference.
Right, and if there's any issue in personnel, the negotiation team can deal with that too, so.
Negotiations
not
are the
necessarily.
contracts, so-
Right, sometimes they do together.
Yeah, it could be, but not always.
Right, not always, right, I agree.
Okay. So,
Do you have a motion and a second?
Yeah, there's a motion.
To be clear,
from Manisca.
there's a motion from Manisca and there's a second from Rebecca Lee for the approval of these.
So you're in discussion at this point then?
any
Just wanna make
discussion
everyone aware of that.
So there's a discussion clearly for elimination of
of this?
personnel?
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to excuse from the county school board rep alternative. I don't know what that is either, okay? Error.
Okay,
So I'd like
so
to
I
be
can explain that
excluded.
one a little bit, Mr. Shin. If and when the county of Bergen, sends any information that can be shared with, the Board of Education or the community of Palisades Park, you would be the liaison. It usually would go to all members, when your emails are shared with the county of Bergen. Sometimes it can go to the business, office or the board secretary. So, again, I can give you some description of what's required, or you can ask the board president to be removed.
Yes, I'd like to remove it from here, okay?
Okay, so you can,
Just a question, and also, so it's board president's appointment, right? So are you sure that's not a form of the retaliation that I was opposed to your appointments? Because me and Mr. Shin, who opposed to your position that we didn't have any committee chair, we just have liaisons, and Mr. Shin particularly, he was a chairperson of building last year.
Yeah.
And now you put a new board member to the chairperson and
You know what, a couple years
put
ago.
him as a co-chair.
I raise my hand. I believe we gave her authorizations to conduct business, and she can appoint any committee position. Her authorization.
Like she has the
Yeah, I
liberty,
have
okay,
an
to
idea.
appoint
I'm
us,
asking,
okay? We
is
have
it
liberty
yes
to
or
be
no?
removed from that appointment too.
Okay,
you
can
can
I?
take everything under consideration
Yeah.
and you can make recommendations next month again.
Yeah,
But some of these, it only sounds like there's one concern with Mr. Shin at this point.
yeah. And also.
But there's
the-
also
Yeah.
part of discussion, there was a discussion about personnel.
Mhm.
If the board wants to consider removing that as a committee.
Okay, and also, Mr. Shin was asking about building ground. I put co-chairperson, which was Mr. Shin, because last year,
I'd like to be removed from there too.
but last year, you know, were
I
chairman.
did, okay, chairman, so now
Uh-huh.
I'd like to be removed. I
Okay.
did enough of my
Okay,
work.
let's talk about this in personal, and then I will explain, and I will consider about your opinion too, okay?
I gave my opinion already to you by the email, right?
Yeah, you did email, but,
Yes, but it was not reflected here at all, okay? So that's the reason I'd like to be removed.
yeah, no, can I explain my opinion? Do you remember last year, Jason Kim, who became the, council? He was a co-chairman. He helped a lot of things to support the new members. At this time,
No, I mean, you know what? I mean, I did building and groundwork last year, okay? So I don't want to be there anymore, okay?
okay, let's talk about that in personal. So, we just discussed, so can you,
Do a
roll
roll
call,
call.
please?
Yep. Yoonman,
Yes?
Manisca Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
No?
Alan John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim, Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim.
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin,
No.
they're approved.
Okay.
So then what about the remover, that,
We have to do another
another?
motion.
should I make it again?
Well, you just did it in discussion, so if you wanted to remove something, you would probably have to make a motion to remove a committee,
So I like to be,
because it does require board action as per our policy.
Right, so I'd like to make a motion to remove the personnel committee. Is anybody second? No?
Second.
Any discussion?
What does this committee do?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
personnel
Personnel.
committee,
I'd like to be removed from building and.
hold on, we have a motion and a second, Mr. Shen. So, there's discussion from Mr. Kim. So personnel committee monthly, I make recommendations to the board for, as you can see tonight, there could be new hires, there could be terminations, there could be, you know, student-teacher placements. There are many factors that come into personnel that the board, as per our policies, would have to approve based on my recommendation. I think Ms. Chung, and there are ethics decisions that limit the role of the board in personnel because it can be a very narrow path, and ensuring complete, I guess we'll call it respect for a better word, of the superintendent in allowing for me to do those interviews or recommendations unsolicited. It's never happened. I don't anticipate it happening here, but I think the recommendation is to remove it entirely. Some districts already do remove it.
Also, although we removed, it doesn't mean that we don't discuss about it. It's actually better that we all discuss together. It didn't mean just 2-3 people are sitting there and discussing about.
One less committee meeting for me a month, so.
Sorry,
Yes, sir.
was there any, problem arose, in the past, this committee?
No, I think this is more out of an abundance of caution that a lot of districts have done this. I think there's a, you know, I hate to say inside information, but if I was meeting, like I meet now that committees are formed, I meet with committees before the board meeting, before work session. I call for committee meetings with the select group. And maybe the perception, I'm not saying it's reality, but is that personnel committee knows about new employees prior to everyone else, or I've never had a concern, but it doesn't mean we have to not hear the concern of Ms. Chung. So we have a motion, we have a second?
Yes.
You have to do a roll call.
This is for removal of personnel. Yunmin,
No.
Agnieszka Garcia,
No.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Ellen John,
No.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
No.
Anthony Kim,
No,
William Kim,
No.
Charlie Shin,
Yeah.
So there's a 6 committee, and Agnieszka is sitting 3 chairs, none of mine, none of Mr. Shin. That's just what I wanna let you know to consider.
You know, can I explain that's up to president?
Yes,
I
know.
was thinking about which way is the effective way, okay?
So can you
And
provide
then
a
my
view?
first, okay, can I finish? My first, priority, to create this, committee, members, I want every 9 members to collaborate together, and the new members could join us. And the experienced, board members can help new members. That's why I
Well,
try to
Agnieszka
figure
is
it out.
a city member.
What?
She has a city.
She's a vice
city
president.
Chairperson.
Yeah, she's a vice president, so that's why I try to work with her. That's why I just, made
Well, I'll
this.
work with her too, right? But
So if you have your own, personal opinion, please,
It's
let's
not
talk in
it's
person.
just not, just very curious, especially at building,
Mm-hmm.
why they're the chairperson become a co-chair. I never
Excuse
seen
me.
this. Right, so.
As I know, this committee report is present in a duty.
To be,
I know that. I know that.
to be removed is my liberty too.
But
Why do you say that?
Yeah, the board should be discussing, this is our meeting, it's my meeting, it's your meeting too. 모두 하나
I'm
좀
going to
here.
ask the previous president.
So if the president appoint us,
We have a
should I
motion.
follow as like order?
Folks, we have a motion to approve this committees as stands. We have a motion that, again, personnel stays. we can have a further discussion on it, but for the purpose of the audience, I think we should continue with our meeting.
Agreed.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes.
thank you.
I think on the next one, we're on letter J, like Joseph. I think Mr. Shindo made a point in the work session that we definitely should consider upon the board minutes.
And that's for the record.
Yes.
So can I go on
So
to?
we'll
Yes.
postpone that to-
Well, I think you can, again, guys, I'm not an attorney, so whatever anyone has a problem with tonight, I'm doing my best to help you all, but letter J can be accepted with the recommendation that Mr. Shin makes to edit that concern.
So,
Is that correct, Mr. Shin?
Yeah.
So letter J, that's approval for the, minutes, right, for
Yeah.
December, 22, regular meeting. So do I make a motion on that, this resolution?
well, I'd like to make a motion to table because I don't know who wrote this minute, but last December, my understanding, in my memory, that I talked as PTA liaison and talk about PTA and the committee and all the, and that's the time that made a motion to reconsider our board committee structures. Those whole part of my name is, I don't see it in the meeting minutes, any of my name is on there. So, do you?
So you wanna make a motion to
Yeah,
table?
to table it, cause why my speech is not there? Is there any purpose or just, it's just mistakenly printed off?
I don't
This is
think,
not the first
I don't think
time.
it's intentional, but again, if there's a motion to table, you have to see if there's a second.
Guys, do I have to make a motion?
No, there's a motion
I'd
to
like to make a
table.
motion, second table it, and then see what we are missing in the minutes.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion about it? Roll call, please.
Alex, I believe this can only be the members that were here in December.
Yes, right. Yunmin,
No.
Nieska Garcia,
No.
Sue Chung,
Yes?
Evan Lim,
Yes.
and Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Motion is tabled. My recommendation is that we review the tape,
Okay.
edit as needed the minutes, and we'll have to do this next month.
And I think your comment is during the January meeting, not December.
No, it's December. January was that's a reorg committee, and I didn't mention about the committee. And actually, you said that you want to discuss in January. That was actually our December meeting.
Next item, please.
Next item, letter K, committee report, finance,
Phone stores.
Mrs. Garcia.
I wasn't at the last finance.
Can you take the new resolutions? This is for the new committee reports and the agenda, numbers 1 through 14, I believe, as discussed in work session. So letter K.
So there are 14 resolutions under finance. I make a motion for approval as discussed during the work session.
Is there a second?
A second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yunmin,
Yes?
Nieska Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes, but, sorry, Dr. Brown is not in finance.
No, it's not.
That's, yes.
That's old business.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin,
Yes.
Okay, next will be building and ground committee, Mr. Kim. No report
No
at
report.
this time, right? Thank you. Middle M. Next one is personnel, Mrs. Garcia.
There are items 1 through 7 on consent agenda as discussed during the work session. I make a motion for approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
We need a second.
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 Anthony Kim?
Any discussion? Roll call please.
Yunman?
Yes?
Aniesca Garcia?
Yes.
Sue Chung?
Yes.
Alan John?
Yes.
Kevin Lim?
Yes.
Rebecca Lee?
Yes.
Anthony Kim?
Yes.
William Kim?
Yes.
Charlie Shin?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
Curriculum.
There were no reports from letter N through letter R, but if you would like, we can go to letter S.
Okay, from
Old
N
business.
to R, there are no resolutions, right? So we are going to move on, letter S, old business.
So again, as discussed, both at the reorg meeting and tonight during our work session, there are technically on paper here 5 resolutions. I cannot make any recommendations on these. I can also tell the board, as you are very well aware, that it's of the utmost importance to consider a number 6 and a number 7 tonight, that being a board attorney and an auditor. Again, I cannot make that recommendation. We've had a lengthy discussion, so someone would have to make a motion. We would need a second and the roll call.
Can we vote on 1 through 5 first?
You can do them individually, you can do them collectively. Again, if there's opposition, clearly, there might be some dissenting, views of who would be most qualified. I think maybe 1 through 5 might be the right route.
Just for the-
You know what?
You're the attorney, I should ask you.
You know what, though, from number 1 through 5, we just was, we postponed, since last month. And then, Dr. Soriello and, Agnieszka and I just had a Zoom meeting with the Brown and Brown company. So in my personal opinion, and, Brown and Brown, they are doing good because they didn't raise the money every year. And they've been working with us more than 7 years. And it's
25 to 30.
25 to 30 years, okay? So I feel like, I would like to move on that, with the company, with the resolution.
We need a
So
motion
there
before the
are,
discussion.
there are 5 items, so does anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion for approval 1 through 5.
Yeah, for the Brown and Brown, okay, you expressed your personal opinion, so my personal opinion.
We should be doing that in discussion,
I second
folks.
for
We should be doing that in
the
discussion.
Motion for the 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Okay.
There's a motion
Any
and a second.
discussion? Okay, roll call please.
No, I think there's
discussion at this time.
Okay. So any
Mr.
discussion,
Shin?
Mr. Shin?
Yes,
Okay.
for the Brown and Brown, actually my investigation started from, the discussion with Dr. Cedillo. When we reviewed the payment to the Brown and Brown, you said, it could be unnecessary, the use of the money, okay? So we could investigate or we could review that payment.
Everything is
That's what
subject to
you
review,
suggested.
everything.
We
From there.
reviewed, so now, let's move on to roll call. And we are, all of our board members can decide. So roll call, please. I
I
mean,
think
the
we're still
from
in
number-
discussion. We still in discussion. How come you just move on to roll call?
Because we just reviewed, enough, I think. so.
Why only 3, just,
So-
I just wondering, why only 3, you and Dr. Cirillo and Agnieszka Garcia, only 3 person in conference call with them? I just wondering, because I just wondering, you are, representing all the board members.
So at the time, I can answer that, sir. There was only a president and a vice president when we tabled that conversation on January 10th. So there was no committee appointments at the time. And when I reached out to the company to explain to them, as I mentioned from the back of the room, that they should not be expecting a check for January, because they're not on the bill list, as I mentioned publicly.
Yeah.
I said to them, I'm gonna explain to you what's happening. They asked for a meeting with elected officials. I told them that I could make 2 available to them. And the 2, the president and the vice president, were at the conference call.
Yeah, it's strictly remember when it comes to your financial review, we just went through this one, and as Mr. Shin mentioned, right, you say, we just found this kind of, you just mentioned, you come from this unnecessary
Right,
expenses.
it's on our
Business
finance meeting in December, if I understand, there's Mr. C, Mr. Kevin E, and Dr. Cyril. We had a finance meeting last, December, and we point out this company, and then that time easily you say you are considering to get
I
rid
said I
of this.
cannot make that recommendation. I
but
said that's a
then-
recommendation of the board. I would have made that recommendation,
Yeah, because
if it
at that
matters.
time I was in finance committee chair, right? And those, all of a sudden, Miss Min, you become the president, all of a sudden, I don't know why this big about.
I will explain that in a personal, I have my own opinion too.
So to
As,
work or without working, like a removal of this, it's not a discretion of superintendent?
So
It has to be made,
first of all, these appointments are probably better made, in my opinion, in the month of July, for the record. Our school year runs not on a calendar year, okay? So technically, the services they're providing us are no different than that of E-rate from last year through the end of this year into June. Again, why we've always done these appointments at reorganization is probably something that should be reviewed and something that we can consider to do in July. I would recommend that would be best interest going forward. But again, I think at least through the end of the school year, many of these advisors, many of these roles, many of these individuals are already working in those capacities.
That means that, I didn't decide, even though I'm a president, I, talked with, Dr. Cirillo, so that, that the committee appointments were decided, in consultation with Dr. Cirillo, because we have to work together, okay? So if you have any question, I am going to explain in person. So now, I think it's enough to, discuss. So Alex, can you roll call, please?
Yoonmin,
Yes.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes, but not two.
Number 2, she is not approving, correct?
Yes.
Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes, but no to.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Yes, except for number 2.
Okay. 1 to 5 are approved.
Number 2 passed, 6-3 vote. I still think in old business, we should be discussing the attorney and the auditor.
So if you want to discuss the attorney, I had previously mentioned, that I would make a motion for the Fresco to be approved on the basis that they're the most competitive rate and they represent other school districts.
Which one?
The Fresco?
Difference group, statement?
Yes. And so the record is clear, I don't know any of these firms, I don't know any of these attorneys. My opinion is based solely on the fact that they represent other school districts, which I think is imperative criteria for us to hire a board attorney. And the rate is the most competitive of the other RFPs that were submitted.
So the recommendation on the floor is DeFrancesco Bateman, PC.
Yes.
Yes. There's a motion.
Well,
Can I,
Prior to the new board attorney, that can we both close you don't want to retain the attorney for the board?
Again, that's something that there has to be a motion, a second, and a roll call. I don't make these recommendations. I don't choose who I want.
think if I remember, we did that first, and then if it doesn't pass, then we move on to the new.
Well, the contract for the old attorney expired.
Right.
So, she submitted an RFP.
Last year, we just had a due date. But, we listened to, Kevin name last year. We just, extended, postponed. But my opinion, the due date is a due date. We have to follow that due date. Because if, someone wants to, have a
Sorry, but
candidate
you're
about this,
confused. We are not talking about that.
so my opinion, I would like to, make a motion to, decide, today to
No, I'm
have
saying
a.
I'm deciding, but my motion is that, why don't you
Ma'am,
consider to
let her
retain-
finish, let her, the chairman finish her speech.
Folks, we have a motion on the floor
I'm
for,
speaking.
guys, please, we have a motion on the floor for Di Francesco. We're not in discussion. Is there gonna be a second, or can there be another nomination?
Is there a
Yeah,
second?
I would like to nominate, John,
Hold on, if there's no second, then we can have another nomination, Alex. Just let the record reflect that.
I'd like to make a motion to retain Sarah Kim. If not, I have a second choice, my.
Well, again, we have to have one at a
Okay.
time, folks.
Okay, sure.
There's a motion now for Sarah Kim.
Second.
There's a second. You have to have a discussion and a roll call on Sarah Kim. Not yet, we have to have a discussion and a roll call.
She has no Board of Ed experience.
So that's a
And that was
discussion.
my concern
We're in
last year
discussion,
when
folks.
I voted no, because she admittedly had no Board of Ed experience. And I don't think that, I think we need to be careful, as we saw with NJSBA. Ethics issues come up very quickly, issues with employees come up very quickly that have to be properly investigated. And we need an attorney with Board of Ed experience. And she is unfortunately not.
Okay, any other discussion?
Are any of these appointments permanent? Can they be changed, amended?
They're annual, so every
So
single.
they're annual appointments, and to the best of my knowledge, all contracts are reviewed by the board, and there's usually a 30-day termination in those contracts. So if the board's not happy, you are not bound by, again, terms and conditions would exist, but if there's an extenuating circumstance, those agreements can be revisited as needed by the board. These are professional appointments by the board we moved on architect at reorg, so we need to move on attorney and auditor. But to answer your question, like any contract, they can be terminated
So it's at
with just cause, of
It's at
course.
will, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I agree with you that she didn't have, Ms. Kim didn't have a prior experience when she started last year. But at least she had 1 year experience, and it's not about just her, I think like audits and lawyers, at least we can pay 2 years that's the way that I think is more effective for the board to function. Like every year change of new professional.
Okay, any other discussions, please?
Alex, roll call, please.
Human,
This is for the approval of Sarah Kim as the board attorney.
Approval.
Sarah Kim.
Sarah, no.
Yeah, Human, no. Iniesta Garcia.
No.
Zuchong.
Yeah.
Alan John.
No.
Kevin Lim.
Yes.
Rebecca Lee.
No.
Anthony Kim.
No.
William Kim.
No.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
6-3, no approval.
Motion is denied. Is there any other recommendation for a board attorney?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate,
I like the nomination for John McCain.
Second.
any other discussions?
Again, my concern is the same, there is no Board of Education experience listed on the RFP. It is imperative that we have a qualified attorney to advise the board. And John McCain does not have any school districts. We have 5 other RFPs that list school districts as their clients, and John McCain does not list a single school district as a client.
Okay, any other discussions?
And what is the rationale behind the motion, if there's no experience, just out of curiosity? Who
Someone
made the
made the
No,
motion?
someone else made the motion. It was Helen John, I believe, made the motion, and Anthony Kim seconded.
And also other, discussions about? If
No,
it's,
William has a question.
So why was this motion made if this person has no experience? I wanna understand why this person was, or this firm is being recommended.
I think it's a sole entity by basis of what I'm reviewing here. He's a sole practitioner. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, but for the associate part, if he's a sole, why would there be an associate?
At times, I'm sure if there's a conflict, maybe he has another case and he would have to retain another attorney. Rebecca, again, I can't speak for him. But I think that would make sense.
other discussion.
So are we voting for this person first, or can I make another?
We're in,
Okay, we have to
we're
wait.
in discussion.
we're in discussion. There was a motion and a second.
Okay, other discussion. If it's not, roll call please.
Huseman,
Can you make sure that this person took,
it's for approval of John
Okay,
McCann.
yes.
Okay. Agnieszka Garcia,
No.
Sue Chung,
No,
Alan John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
No,
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
I abstain.
Charlie Shin.
No.
Motion does not carry. Is there any other motion for board attorney?
I'd like to make a motion for the Florio Perucci, and I don't pronounce that, it's Steinhardt,
Florio,
the last one I think on the list.
they're the last one on the list.
Yeah,
Florio,
this-
Perucci, and Steinhardt.
Yeah, this firm has, in my research, the best, practice in, just mainly for those two.
There's a motion for Florio. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
It's a higher rate, but just, they represent approximately 6 Board of Education, so they're at the very least qualified, even though it's a higher rate than the other DeFrancesco.
Roll call, please.
Huseman,
This is for Florio, Perucci, and Steinhardt.
Huseman,
no.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes,
Helen John,
No.
Kevin Lim,
yes,
Rebecca Lee,
No.
Anthony Kim,
No.
William Kim,
I abstain.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
4-4 again.
Can
Should we move on to its auditor? Again,
I wanna make a final, this is top 3, so here we go. I make a motion for Cleary, Jacoby,
Jacoby.
excuse me.
It's okay. Alfieri and Jacobs.
They again represent at least 5 other school districts.
but that, and they like a special activity for town or for, Palisades Park?
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cleary?
I have a question, like, before she does clearly,
Hold
like,
on,
I know
hold on.
she-
We're not in discussion yet, so we made a motion
Agnieszka Garcia made a motion, is there a second?
for Cleary, Jacoby, Alfieri, and Jacobs.
No second.
No discussion needed. There any other recommendation for attorney?
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
I know no one seconded the DeFrancesco, but would it be too late to go back to the DeFrancesco?
I guess we have to ask the attorney.
I need a second, so I'll make it, and you can second it, so I
Yes,
make a
I'll
motion
second it.
for
I'm sorry.
Francesco Bateman.
I apologize. We have a motion for DeFrancesco.
Rebecca Lee made a motion, there was a second by Agnieszka Garcia for DeFrancesco. Okay. Any discussion?
Most competitive rate listed on all the RFPs, and they represent 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 other school boards. 5.
I'm sorry, what was it vote before about this?
DeFrancesco.
Right, no, right, how many people agreed?
We have a roll
We
call.
haven't
We had a
done
motion
it.
and a second.
We have a motion and a second. We are in discussion.
You brought this again, like.
It was 4-4. And abstained
For,
by
the same as Mr. Kim.
DeFrancesco, I never got a second.
DeFrancesco, we never got a second
So there
on.
was never a roll
Oh,
call.
no,
on
That's
that.
why I wanted to be
So
visited.
Florio is a voting for, right?
A lot of voting, I'm sorry. Okay.
We have a motion and a second on DeFrancesco. Is there any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Yun Min,
Abstain.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
No.
Alan John,
No.
Kevin Lim,
No,
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
No.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
No.
Denied.
If I may, I have a feeling we might not pick an attorney tonight.
Wherever.
Maybe we can either re-advertise or the board can create a committee and do interviews of the candidates. Keep in mind, if there are more than 4 people on a committee, we must advertise, okay, because that will constitute a quorum. Auditors, your show, Ms. Kim, Ms. Min, excuse me. So we will move to auditor then. Again, is there any other recommendation for attorney? Then let's go to auditor, please.
Okay. Does anyone, like to make a motion about, for auditor?
I'd like to make a motion that we do re-advertise to get more candidates. We only have one auditor. Please.
Is there a second?
yeah, second.
Any discussion? Alex, roll call to re-advertise for that of auditor.
Yeah, just want, get into some of the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I think it's very dangerous, if there's only one auditor, submit the proposal, and, I think definitely we need to look into, several more candidates, it's very important to review, and, some kind of competitive, the auditors. So definitely we need to, hopefully, proceed this one,
And also, this is only one company in the list, and they actually work with county too.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, my opinion is that we gave a due date, and the last year, we just postponed. So just this case, if we just postpone, if no one, if we don't have a candidate, what you gonna do? You're gonna postpone again?
That's
Doesn't
exactly
make sense.
what it did last year. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that, some other, potential auditors submit the proposal so that we have like compatible, bidders. So I think, we gotta make sure that, some sort of, hopefully, minimum of 3, the auditors come in,
So we have a motion, we have a second, we need a roll call.
Alright.
So this is to table, this is to re-advertise that RFP for auditor.
Yun Min,
No.
Agnieszka Garcia,
No.
Sue Chung,
Yes?
Alan John,
No.
Kevin Lim,
no, yes. Sorry.
Rebecca Lee. I'm
No.
sorry. What was that?
No.
No.
Anthony Kim,
No.
William Kim,
No.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Motion is denied to re-advertise. Is there a motion on the floor and a second for the auditor?
I make a motion to accept the auditor who submitted.
I second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Yun Min,
This is for Steve Wilcox and Associates as the
Yes.
district auditor.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
No?
Alan John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
No,
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
No.
Motion approved.
New business.
We can, before we go.
Yes, sir, hold on.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint John McCann as, attorney.
Hold on.
I can discuss why.
Guys, we're going back to attorney, since we are still in old business. Mr. William Kim is making a recommendation for John McCann. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just briefly, I can explain. It doesn't look like we're gonna be able to decide on an attorney tonight unless we go with this firm. And given that it's not binding, meaning we can change our mind, it's probably beneficial that the board has an attorney representing it until the next meeting. So why don't we have a firm on for now, and then if we don't like his services, we can change our mind.
But, how many?
I don't see how any other firm is gonna pass given the voting.
The contract isn't binding, right?
Well, any contract can be binding. Again, there are terms and conditions that can revoke or terminate contracts. So again, I would recommend,
If
give
that's
the,
case,
give the
we got-
candidates some time. We can't just terminate it.
We have 6 other firms who are qualified, if we're gonna do it on a month-to-month basis, we have 6 other firms who have Board of Education experience, who can
I
have them.
completely
sit in on
understand
one.
and agree, I'm just saying for the sake of this month, not having an attorney doesn't seem wise. And
Well,
I don't see
we can
anyone
cost
else
Eric him on a month-to-month basis, if it's hiring unqualified people.
Any
passing.
discussion?
We have a motion, we have a second, we're in discussion. Anything further? Roll call, please,
What's the roll call for?
for the approval of John McCann.
On a month-to-month basis?
No, it would be, you would have to appoint them, and then if the board is not
Please
satisfied,
table this, this is enough.
I cannot make the
Enough.
recommendation.
Enough,
We're
I
on-
make a motion,
We're on
it's
the roll
enough.
call though, I'm sorry. Yoonmin
Yes.
and Yesker Garcia
For what?
for approval of John
No.
McCann. Sue Chung,
No.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lin,
No?
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes,
Charlie Shin.
I'll be in touch with Mr. McCann in the morning. We're not in audience participation, we're on new business. Guys, we're not in audience participation. New business, please. I do, before we go into the recommendations here, I do ask the board to consider my recommendation on allowing a dissertation survey participation on professional development of our schools. It will all remain anonymous. Only the data will be used for us upon completion to better our professional development with our teachers. Not all teachers will be surveyed. I need a motion, a second, and a roll call, please.
Okay.
I make a motion.
Any second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
would it violate any laws or policies?
Not at all. Actually, we need to have our policy requires us to have a, approval, so I'm just, by policy, we're doing this. And it remains anonymous. No names are used.
Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yoonmin
Yes.
and Yesker Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Alan John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes?
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
That was easy. Thank you.
Much easier.
We are still in new business. There is a recommendation that probably just came in a little bit late when our agenda was created, so we're trying to really abide by a certain cutoff date. We do want to make things better, but there are two items here under new business. The first one, be it resolved upon my recommendation that we approve the PPEA/Pride Team to host a movie night at the Lindbergh School Field on May 12th with a rain date of May 19th. And number two, be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon again, my recommendation, approve a request from the senior class advisor to schedule the senior prom at Biagio's on Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. We need a motion.
Okay, do we make a motion?
I make a motion for approval.
Any second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yoonmin
Yes.
and Yesker Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Alan John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes?
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Thank you. Before we open to audience, Mr. President, two items I'd like to discuss with the board really quick. We are in the process of ordering nameplates for all board members, so if and when the public needs to know who is who, they will know you by name, so no alias, Mr. Tony Kim. I know the police like to do that once in a while. second, in the event any board member likes to be, in front of a machine and wants to review all of these items as they're all on the drive now, I can have Chromebooks available for your use at the meetings. Please just advise me and we will have them for you at meetings. Again, completely up to board members. If you like paper, by all means, but we'll try to save some trees.
Can you
Okay.
bring our own laptop?
You can bring your own, but no YouTube videos, Mr. Shin.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I don't wanna take you.
I'm getting tired.
Okay.
Audience, you can open,
Okay,
please.
now, anyone like to make a motion to open audience participation?
I make a motion to open to the audience participation.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Please note, we do have a policy for 3 minutes. We will take all questions, comments, suggestions, recommendations, and if required, we will answer upon closing audience participation. I told you this was easy.
I'm taking off tomorrow.
Just name, please, and address.
Medical Potter for Glen Avenue. I see nobody answered, raised their hand, so I would. I think 3 minutes is not gonna be enough.
Sorry, it's a
Well,
policy.
I know, but it's very, 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 very sad how this meeting is running. Because I see how the division it is with a new member and the member that has been here in the past. It seems like it's not working for our kid, and this is the honest truth. And I would like to know what is the new member was offered to our school, because some of the new member, I don't know them, like I never seen before around, and I'm saying that you're not qualified or that you're not gonna give your service, and thank you for, for run for this. But it seems it's very divided, like a 4 group and 3 group. And it's very disgusting because as a parent, I feel that this is not a benefit for our school. It is seem like you guys are working and combined together. So this one want this guy, this one want this guy, but not for the benefit of our school. And have no respect for our kid. And this is honor the truth. And everybody here have maybe the same feeling that I have. I never seen a meeting like that before, and I'm here every month. I want to talk to Cirillo, that I really like what he said today about the testing. I think this is, if the member could get together and decide that. Because, my daughter's taking the test right now and this week, and it seemed to me like Zero Health is getting a lot of action, it's being like, she's being studied and she's being feel so because put a lot of pressure to the kid. I don't think it will benefit for them. I know sometimes you have to do it like a state test, but if you guys could decide to just do something about that, that would be very, very beneficial. I really feel this is not good. Please, the new member, if you could please and brief say to me who you are and what is make you move to become a member. I would really appreciate to you guys because I never seen it before. I know Rebecca came back, she was previous member, and I know she wanna run again. It's what is a new print to the table. And I know Agnieszka, I know Snood is being here, but it seems like you guys not working together, and it's very clear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Noemi Rivera, 512 Glen Avenue. I just wanna touch what Mary said. We've been coming to this meeting since last year because my Cook children first enrolled last year. This was just, I'm trembling, I'm so angry and I'm a little worried that this is gonna continue, and it cannot continue. Because we're here as parents and our children go to the school, and I have many years with my children in the school, and I can't sit through meetings like this, knowing that my children are the ones who are either gonna benefit or suffer from this. Second thing I wanted to ask is the public, are we gonna receive a copy of these committee chairs that I saw you guys were handing out? Is that gonna be made public?
I'm sure it can be posted on our website.
We would like to be able to know who to address it, like PTA needs to go into like the fundraising committee.
Superintendent of
or-
schools,
Okay.
always. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to respond.
Oh, right,
Sorry.
okay. Oh, and sorry, the last thing is, it's been, ECC, there is a problem, and I don't know if it's a Board of Ed issue, or if like, we need more police presence, but you know, everyone knows there's an overcrowding in this school. So, I now have to leave the house at like 1:50 to pick up my kid at 2:25 to find a parking spot, and then I'm blocked in. Parents are getting aggressive. I've seen car accidents right up here, right up front. It's getting dangerous, and so I don't know if it should be brought up to your attention or the cops, like, what do we do? And it's just getting a little scary out there, you know, the kids are running, it's not safe.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Riley Rivera, 512 Glen Avenue. I just want to foot stomp what everybody's saying. This meeting is pretty disgusting. There's a certain level of vitriol that's like apparent when discussing one side of the table or the other. I've never seen anything like this for a nonpartisan, non-political team who's trying to do things for the children. Because I would imagine if you're running, you're doing it for the children. Not be silent political cronies with silent agendas, selecting people who are not qualified for positions. I think it's very disappointing, very apparent that a question was asked directly to the president of the Board of Education. How was somebody who's not qualified considered? And that question was glazed over. You know, as a parent and as board members, we are responsible for the community and to the children to come to the school. And I want to say shame on you guys for being the first meeting and making it apparent you got, or appearance alone is infuriating of something that appears to be a hidden agenda. What relationships you may have, what appointees you guys may have, it should appear at the bare minimum. At least make the effort that you guys are making nonpartisan decisions. My children go to the school and they're part of this community. We're part of this community. I've been to every meeting since my children entered, and I haven't seen half of you guys. I'm not saying you guys are not participants. I seen Rebecca through the town. I seen Helen throughout the town, just passing, but I've never seen you guys at this meeting. And I'm not saying you guys are not participating, but if you guys are gonna be here, put the effort. And at least get to know your board members, so when Sue Chung says something, there's not a level of vitriol coming from Mr. Kim over here, pointing fingers and raising your voice. Act professional, and make it seem like you guys are on the same page. We're here for the same thing, we're here for the children, not for you guys and what appears to be, whatever it is you guys are doing up there. It's disgusting. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. So please get together and get it together.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm not gonna address, Diane Montanero, 250, where am I? 114th Street, I forgot where I lived, unfortunately in Palisades Park. Anyway, I find these comments very insulting to the new board members. This is their first meeting. I mean, they were only sworn in last month. We don't know what they're gonna bring to the board, and it's like insulting to have people say they're disgusting, they're not qualified, they don't know what they're doing. Give them a chance. You don't know what they have to offer. They've just gotten sworn in on the board. So, I mean, and I've been coming to meetings for 40 years in this town, so to me, this wasn't the worst meeting I've ever been at. I don't know if anybody goes to council meetings, but I mean, yeah, okay. So, I mean, give these people a chance to prove and see what they're gonna do for the school district instead of insulting them.
They are divided.
Thank you.
You can see clear.
We're not gonna entertain that.
They are like-
Anyone else, folks?
They can.
Anyone else?
They can have discussions. They can disagree with one another. They're not all gonna be on the same page. Everybody has their own personal opinion here. They're not all gonna say yes, 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 no, no, no. They're gonna have various opinions here.
Thank you.
Just Relazzo, 85 West Cecil Boulevard, Palisades Park. I'm a member of, I work for the school system now, a little over 32 years. My brother was a board member here. His name is on one of the plaques here. He died in office at a very young age. He was 18 when he became a member of this board. All I can say is, please, good luck. Work with each other and have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Someone in the back. Yes, your name, please?
Natasha, 99 West Edgewell.
Natasha, last name, I'm sorry.
Ortiz.
Ortiz? O-R-T-I-Z?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I moved here last year from New York City. so far, the community has been great, the school system seems good, but this year, yeah, for starters, this is my first meeting, and best of luck. At least I'm an attorney, because y'all can't get it together, man. But I did want to touch on the fact that over at Lindbergh, I have a third grade student in a special education class, and they don't have a classroom. So who's gonna take care of that? Right now, they're situated in a library where it's, a corner may be smaller than that, where there's traffic all day, every day. That is unacceptable. As a parent of a special ed kid, like, the principal doesn't care. He's dismissive of the issues.
I
So
just
if
have to,
he's-
I
and
have
know
to
I
stop
can't
you
speak
because
he's not
there's only
here.
one of those positions, but let's be cautious of what we're saying.
Okay, so being that I've gone to the principal and the vice principal and they haven't addressed it, who's gonna address it next? Is that gonna be addressed at the meeting that you guys have with the State Board of Ed next month? Are they gonna know that there's a class that's in the library, that's used throughout the day? Is that something that's known? Did you know that?
1,000,000%.
You did? So you're fine with my daughter being in the library?
Please answer all the questions.
Thank you, sir. I'll
Sorry.
go after.
Is that acceptable? Would you let your child be in a library that's being used throughout the day, where her teacher can't even do her job in teaching my child, and the other students, because it's not just mine, yes, I'm gonna be selfish with mine, but her class as a whole is not getting the education they need. So, what can be done about that?
Anyone else?
I hate to speak in public, so, just so you guys know. First, I'm talking, sorry, Michelle Paprota from 132 East Harriet Avenue. See, that's why I'm the worst at this. First, I'm coming here as PTA president to congratulations on your new committee positions. So, congrats. But, one thing I have is, I didn't get a chance, I tried emailing, and of course, I hate technology, I'm the worst, so of course I emailed Diane too late. I'm asking to have a vendor event for April 29th at Lindbergh School. I'm hoping you guys can discuss this tonight so I can start looking for vendors. It would be a PTA event, obviously, on a Saturday. So, I would like you guys to hopefully discuss that. That's the one item. Let's see. So the second item is pretty much, well, one with yours, I totally understand, and I definitely want to talk to you outside of here. But it's not a principal thing, because Lindbergh principal, he's amazing. I have to tell you, he really is amazing. It's a board thing and a town thing. That is the.
Guys, we're not supposed to, you have to talk to the
I'm sorry,
board.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
But to piggyback a few others here, there's obviously, and it's a known town thing for many, many years, pre you guys, the politicking is crazy, and it's obvious tonight. I can see here who's here actually for the children, and who's here for personal agendas. It's upsetting. I'm not gonna use the real words I have in my head, I'm just gonna say it's upsetting. As a parent, I'm a parent, I've been living in this town a long time, and think of the children, okay? We're here for the children, we're not here for personal progression, okay? We're not here for personal, how to get ahead in this town, okay? And that's not PTA related, so I hope you can keep aside what I'm asking for April 29th and what I'm saying personally. This is as a resident and a parent of 3 children that have been in the school for many years, okay? It is blatant what's going on tonight, okay? I know a few of you through town, okay? From the playground, everything. Please, 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 this is a whole year, please think of the kids, okay? Because that's what we're here for. We're not here for anything else but the children, okay? And then, I didn't want to go off like that just now. I wanted to also ask that, so I'm really kicking myself in the butt. I hope I'm not over 3 minutes,
We're over.
but, oh, sorry. Thursday,
up like the
it used to
end
be on
when you play the
Thursdays.
music.
It used to be on Thursdays. Can you please consider bringing it back to Thursdays? Because I watch an elderly woman on Wednesdays that has dementia, so I can't make Wednesdays. And, you know, after, you know, whatever. If you could bring it back to the way it was, because that's what most, I know some of the board members, actually, it's more convenient for them also.
Thank
I
you.
saw the video from last month.
Thank you.
The other day.
Is there anyone else? Okay, we need to close audience, please.
I make a motion to close the audience session.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so for the new board members, what we've done in the past, I do my very best to attempt to answer as many or all of these questions to the best of my ability. I will go in the order that the questions were posed to me. I know there was a request. I don't want to speak for the board. This is a Board of Education meeting, not a superintendent meeting. But there was a request if any of the board members want to speak on who they are and why they're here. But I can go on record and tell you, just this past week, and I echo, not because I work with Diane, some of these board members already took time out of their schedules to tour the schools with me, to ask me what's needed. I commend them for that. Some of these board members are parents of children that I've taught in my 20-year career here. I commend them for that. Again, I've worked with many boards over the past 10 years. I treat people fairly. I treat people not on one decision, one vote, but based on a long-term, 3-year terms are 3-year terms for a reason. Things cannot change overnight. We wish they could. But again, if there's any board member, new board member that wants to speak on who you are and why you're here, or let your actions speak for that in time, opportunity is yours. Absolutely. Well, actually, the president, this is your meeting. Do you want anyone responding? Completely up to you.
Okay, yes.
My name is Charlie Shin. Please put the name card next.
Yeah, we can do it. Charlie K. Shin, right? K in the middle?
Charlie K. Yeah, middle
Yes, sir.
initial K. Okay. I moved in Palisades Park 1990, okay, which is like 33 years ago. Okay. Of course, I didn't live for 33 years in Palisades Park because of the education I saw here in Palisades Park. So, very naturally, I went up to the northern area where the school is known much better than Palisades Park. Then I came back to Palisades Park after all my kids graduated from the school system. Okay? So, but I didn't see anything. Unfortunately, it was shame, but there was no improvement in school system compared to the 1990s here. Okay, so I'm not 69 years old. Okay, and so at this year, at my age, okay, it's time to retire and enjoy my life. But still, I thought something like responsibility and the duty to do something for the school of Palisades Park. I'm retired, the Marine officer in Korea, okay? And I'm retired, the executive for the big company in Korea and even in the United States. So I have some experience in such things, okay? So I'd like to work for the Palisades Park school system to make it better. It's really shameful still. Yeah, as I asked to the Matthew Reed, I bought the school ranking system in New Jersey, and the Palisades Park school is below the average, which is the really unpleasant things to me. So I wanted to do something as my last work in my life for the Palisades Park. That's the reason. Yes, I don't like I like the United things for whatever it is, but unfortunately, there is something, I don't think this is right for the kids in Palisades Park, and that's not right for the Palisades Park school. Then I have to argue against them. Whenever I come to the board meeting, I become very nervous, okay, for what I have to fight against, for what I have to against them. But still, I have my own decision and I have only my own position, okay? And I have the dream, okay? And I have hope for the Palisades Park school system. So I'm very sorry that we didn't show any united things, but that could happen for the kids and for the school of Palisades Park. Please understand. That's my.
Thank you,
comment.
Mr. Shin.
Thank you.
I think also, guys, we also, something to consider. I know other boards of education have small little blurbs and biographies next to them on our website. I know the community may not know everyone, but that could be an opportunity if the board would like to put some info on our website. It is a good opportunity to share information. As far as the testing, I gave my word earlier. I'm a parent of children. I know what it does to my own kids, so that I will form a committee. I will form a task force, if we want to call it that, to explore, you know, are we over testing? And I'm going to include students on that, teachers, faculty. I think we'll include a board member or two. I think it's important to look at the big picture here. Ms. Rivera, committee appointments, so long that the board president is okay with it, I will put it on the website. Additionally, I would recommend, please, 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 if there are any concerns about any committees, you contact me. They are only board members and I don't treat them lightly. They're volunteers. They got their butts kicked a little bit here tonight. They are volunteering their time. These are not people that are getting even a nickel to be here. But with that being said, I will tell you wholeheartedly, any problems, please contact me. I will do my best. As far as the overcrowding in the police, I'm glad you raised it here. I made a note. I will be in touch with Chief Espino. It can't hurt to go there as well. I never tell people to, I don't push our problems to them. But this is a problem that we both jointly have. Notre Dame dismissal times are there's a problem. I know they just added a crossing guard. I know there's a police officer there. Maybe we have to stagger dismissal. Maybe we have to shut down some streets. I don't know. I'm not a, you know, traffic engineer. But dismissal times with probably upwards of 600 to 700 students being dismissed amongst the two schools, and all those cars in 4 intersections is a concern. So I will, again, speak to the chief. Mr. Rivera, I don't know that I can answer any of your questions. There were more concerns and disappointments. Ms. Montemuro, just don't be late to work tomorrow. Mr. Spolazzo, thank you. Really, I genuinely appreciate you sharing that story of your brother. Ms. Ortiz, I would like to speak to you privately, if I may. I will get your info if I don't get you tonight because I want her to go to bed. Just like Ms. Montemuro, we'll definitely talk tomorrow. Ms. Proprada, we will have to leave this, and we can definitely go into new business again if you'd like to make a motion on the April 29th date, so long that we don't have a conflict, which I don't believe. I looked at the calendar. I would say start contacting vendors. I don't think the board's gonna have a problem with approving that request. I know we could do it formally at the February meeting, but if the board would like to would like to end our response before we adjourn, we can go back to new business for one item. We can approve the use of Lindbergh School for the PTA on April 29th. I need hours.
The event would be 10 to 4, but the vendors would need time before and after to
How
set up and
how is 8 to 6?
I was thinking 9 to 5, I think.
You
An
got
hour
it.
Before, an hour after.
Thank you.
Because it would be, yeah.
9 to 5. And I think you, I think that is it.
One response.
Sure, of course.
I'd like to respond to the parents on this side of the room. Just, as you guys mentioned, we're new board members, which means we just got in here. It's probably too early for me, at least, to know any of the issues. We're here to try to improve the school systems, that's it. So, we appreciate you sharing your concerns.
Thank you. Please.
What Ms. Rivera said, it's not just ECC with the traffic issue. It's Lindbergh. I've seen kids getting bumped by cars while crossing the street on Glen Avenue when it's blocked off. There are people speeding down because they're there late for their trains. This is at the regular dismissal, which is 2:45, and at 4 o'clock dismissal when the aftercare is done.
So Rebecca, I've heard this concern. I've dealt with a lot of unfortunate incidents. I think, not to pat anyone on the back, but Ms. Chung recommended earlier, maybe the need for a security committee. That would be something that meets with the police department. Board members and myself would facilitate those meetings. I know other school districts, in light of other more severe, not that this is light, but school safety, if you can read between the lines, have met to ensure that their district is safe. I would argue that the exterior, the traffic is just as important, if not more. So again, that's something that we should discuss regardless. All schools need better security, 100%.
And I would like to state that I am a mother of 3 kids. They're all in this school system, okay? I treat every single kid in this neighborhood as my child, even though I don't know them. If I see them walking down the street in the freezing cold, I'll offer a ride. A lot of kids will be like, oh my God, this is a crazy woman offering a ride, but that's how I am. I care about the kids and I care about everybody in the school system, the teachers, custodians, the staff, the assistants, Dr. Cirillo, you know, like everyone. So I'm here trying to help better the school, not to have a fight with them. Yes, there will be disagreements, and you know, like the thing that I just want to ask from everyone is stop nitpicking every little thing. Sometimes you just have to let it go, and you know, yes, we do need a unison. Okay, we need to get together and fight for what's right for the community and for the kids, basically for the kids. So while we're here, we need to get our differences out and just do it for the kids and for the school. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to say, I echo your frustration, and again, we've been talked to death. You know, our children are obviously in the district, and that's how I know most of you, but it is, I share your frustration. It's incredibly frustrating when we're making decisions. If you wouldn't hire someone to do your personal business who's not qualified, you would not do it for the district. It's that simple. I wouldn't hire an attorney who's never dropped a roll before to drop my will. I wouldn't roll the dice on myself, so I wouldn't roll the dice on the students of the district. And that's what's incredibly frustrating, when people are willing to roll the dice on the students.
Amen.
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Agnieszka, that's I agree with that. For last year, I've been told from someone that I was the most loudest one in the room. I didn't try to make trouble, you know. But it's my character. I can't really close that if I think it's not unethical and or as unlawful things. Unfortunately, I've been finding many, and for me, as you know, we don't get paid. I'm spending time. My child is still without mommy now, but my work, of course, although you think it's a roar or it's like fighting, but I will not stop bringing the issue if I don't think it's right. And I hope you consider this kind of partners and fighting. I mean, I don't think it's fighting, it's a discussion of democracy, but I know it's how frustrating to parents and employees sitting there to make the time decisioning. But this is, I'm just promising, but I'm also pre-warning that I'm not just be quiet because of, I'm not a ruling party in the town, and I got a lot of accusation if I bring some issues up in the public too. But this is my justice that I found as a board member, and I promise to all residents, people, and after get appointed as a big board member, that I will do my best to find best improvements of school and all good things to make our child, children, and whole school, this school district get better.
Thank you. If there is no one else, we do not need a closed session tonight, Ms. President. Madam President, maybe we can adjourn.
Okay.
Are we approving PTA?
Oh, thank you. So we need to go back into new business. I would like to make a recommendation for the board to consider the approval of use on April 29th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., our PTA vendor event.
Can I ask what the vendor event is?
Yes, so what my understanding is, the PTA is making a request to open our doors to community members if they wanna rent a table and maybe sell items. Is that right? Food or drink?
Anything, it's
No,
whatever
not
business-
anything, no
Well,
alcohol.
No, no alcohol, obviously, I
Well,
know
let's
that was
clarify.
obvious, sorry. Yes, local businesses.
So they can rent a table from PTA, I've
Correct.
attended this in the past, so they rent a table maybe for $20, they can sell crafts, they can sell items, more than 20, you're doing good. They can sell sports cards, they can sell their shoes,
It's
I don't
most-
know,
And most towns do that.
they do it,
Is
it's
the
a,
one that's similar to that Leonia just did not long ago?
I don't know about Leonia, I know.
it's a fundraiser that many
Dumont,
PTAs do.
Paramus, all those Dumont, Paramus, all those towns do the same type of events.
Where
Lots
are
of
you
towns
doing?
do.
In Lindbergh Elementary School cafeteria,
How often?
Inside?
inside, absolutely.
Are we having the, whatever certificates, or
Well, so they- certificates of insurance will be on record. And this is a school-sponsored PTA.
Okay, thank you.
If there is a motion and a second and a roll call for approval.
I make a motion for approval of the PTA event.
Second. Charlie Shin, a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yunmin,
Yes?
Aniesco Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung, Alan John,
Yes.
Kevin Lynn, Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yep.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Everybody said yes.
Don't tell them
Everybody said yes.
One thing we all agree on.
Okay, do you have any question? I'd like to close the audience participation, and I'd like to entertain a motion that we go into.
We don't need
Please,
closed
okay.
session.
So I'd like to obtain the motion to adjourn.
Yes. I second, or I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
All in favor?